Imagine a life where every step you take builds silently, steadily, and powerfully toward the future you desire. Imagine waking up each day, not to announce your ambitions, but to embody them, putting in the hours, the effort, the sweat, the unseen work that shapes greatness. The world often glorifies noise, flash, and instant recognition, but real success, it doesn't shout, it whispers, it waits, it rewards the patient. It rewards those who understand that true achievement isn't about being noticed, it's about being relentless. When you quiet your ego, silence the distractions, and commit to doing the work that matters, something extraordinary happens. Results begin to speak. Doors open. People notice, not because you demanded attention, but because your results demand respect. Every step you take in silence is a step closer to mastery, to influence, to leaving a legacy that cannot be ignored. Today, I want you to embrace the power of working quietly, of letting your actions carve the path, and of allowing your results to do the talking. Because in the end, the world remembers not the noise you made, it remembers what you built. True success is not measured by how loudly we declare our intentions or how convincingly we describe our plans. It is measured by the results we create through consistent action. Too often, people get caught up in talking about what they want to achieve, posting about their goals, sharing motivational quotes, or explaining their strategies. While this may feel productive, it often becomes a trap, a way to give the illusion of progress without actually making any. Real achievement, the kind that changes lives and creates lasting impact, comes from those who choose to act decisively and relentlessly even when no one is watching. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality. It is the muscle that converts vision into tangible results. When you prioritize action over words, you focus your energy on execution, solving problems, and moving forward rather than seeking validation or approval from others. This approach requires courage because it often means working in silence, without recognition, without applause, and without the immediate gratification that comes from external acknowledgement. But it is in these quiet moments of dedication that greatness is forged. Every small task completed, every problem solved, every hour invested compounds over time to produce outcomes that speak louder than any promise or claim. People who understand this principle develop a mindset rooted in responsibility and accountability. They measure themselves not by the attention they receive, but by the progress they make and the results they deliver. They recognize that energy spent on self-promotion is energy taken away from doing the work that truly matters. Action over words also cultivates resilience. Talking about goals feels safe. Acting on them exposes you to uncertainty, failure, and setbacks. Yet those who embrace action understand that failure is not an endpoint, but a stepping stone, a necessary experience that sharpens skills, builds character, and strengthens resolve. By committing to action, individuals learn to navigate challenges, adapt strategies, and persist despite obstacles, gradually accumulating momentum that cannot be bought or borrowed. Results generated through consistent action earn credibility and respect in ways that words never can. While anyone can make promises or claims, few can demonstrate results. This is why leaders, innovators, and high achievers are recognized, not because they announce what they intend to do, but because they do it, and the outcomes are undeniable. It is the tangible proof of their effort, the evidence of their commitment, and the legacy of their choices that leaves a lasting impression. Action transforms intention into impact, vision into reality, and potential into achievement. Those who grasp this truth understand that every moment spent working quietly, focusing on execution, and persistently moving forward builds a foundation for success that cannot be shaken, undermined, or ignored, creating a life defined not by promises, but by powerful, visible results. Discipline is the invisible force that turns dreams into reality, the quiet engine that drives extraordinary achievement. It is not glamorous or flashy, but it is undeniably powerful, because while talent and inspiration are important, they are fleeting without the consistency that discipline provides. Discipline is about showing up day after day, even when motivation fades, when distractions pull at your attention, and when results are not yet visible. It is the ability to commit to a process, to honor the small steps that compound into monumental outcomes over time. Many people underestimate the importance of these seemingly insignificant actions, believing that success comes from grand gestures or sudden breakthroughs. In truth, the most impactful accomplishments are the product of routine, structure, and the relentless pursuit of progress. Those who cultivate discipline understand that their energy must be directed strategically, that their habits must be aligned with their goals, and that the choices they make consistently, even in private, unseen moments, determine the trajectory of their lives. Discipline requires self-control, the capacity to resist short-term gratification in favor of long-term rewards. It means prioritizing effort over comfort, persistence over procrastination, and growth over complacency. It is the daily commitment to improve, to refine skills, to deepen knowledge, and to push beyond perceived limits. When disciplined action is compounded over months and years, it creates results that are both inevitable and undeniable. Discipline also fosters resilience. Challenges, setbacks, and failures are inevitable on the path to success, but a disciplined mind does not waver when faced with obstacles. Instead, it finds ways to adapt, to persevere, and to maintain momentum, knowing that progress is built not on perfection, but on persistent effort. Furthermore, discipline creates confidence. When you trust yourself to follow through, to honor your commitments, and to keep moving forward regardless of circumstances, you develop a sense of mastery over your life that cannot be shaken by external events. People notice this consistency even when it is not broadcasted, because results begin to emerge, quietly but powerfully. The disciplined individual becomes a force that is hard to ignore, not because they seek attention, but because their steady, unwavering effort produces outcomes that speak for themselves. Over time, discipline transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement, shaping character, building credibility, and creating opportunities that would otherwise remain out of reach. It is the unseen foundation upon which success is constructed, and those who embrace it understand that the quiet, consistent investment of effort ultimately leads to impact, influence, and results that cannot be contested or overlooked. Seeking validation from others is a natural human tendency, but it can be a dangerous trap for anyone striving for true success. When we constantly look for approval, recognition, or praise, we shift our focus from the work itself to the perception of others, and in doing so, we dilute the energy, attention, and creativity required to achieve extraordinary results. Validation creates a dependency on external voices, leaving our sense of progress and self-worth vulnerable to fluctuation. True achievement. T, on the other hand, comes from internal conviction, from knowing the value of your efforts even when no one else notices. Those who understand this principle learn to operate in silence, focusing on the process and the craft rather than the applause. They recognize that attention is a limited resource and that chasing it can distract from meaningful work. Every hour spent trying to impress or gain approval is an hour taken away from honing skills, creating value, and producing tangible outcomes. Letting go of the need for validation allows you to act with clarity, confidence, and authenticity. You no longer make decisions based on what others might think, and instead you align every choice with your goals, principles, and long-term vision. This approach fosters courage because it requires embracing discomfort and uncertainty. Working without external recognition means embracing the unknown and trusting that your efforts will bear fruit, even if it takes time for anyone to notice. It also cultivates humility, as you develop the ability to celebrate progress quietly without needing to broadcast every accomplishment. Paradoxically, when you stop seeking validation, your work becomes more compelling. Results generated from authentic effort naturally attract attention, respect, and influence because people respond to impact rather than ego. Authentic results speak for themselves in a way that self-promotion never can, creating credibility that is earned, not claimed. This mindset also encourages focus, as energy is devoted entirely to execution rather than perception management. Those who avoid the trap of validation learn to measure success internally, tracking progress against personal standards rather than public opinion. Over time, this fosters resilience, as your motivation becomes self-sustained and independent of external fluctuations. By letting go of validati, you free yourself to take bold actions, explore innovative ideas, and invest fully in the work that matters. The quiet, consistent application of effort in this way builds a foundation for achievement that cannot be undermined by criticism, envy, or external doubt. In essence, when you release the need to be noticed, you create space for genuine growth, mastery, and results that inevitably draw acknowledgement through their undeniable impact. Patience and resilience are the twin pillars that sustain anyone committed to long-term success. The path to meaningful achievement is rarely smooth or immediate, It is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and moments that test both your determination and your faith in the process. Many people give up too soon because they are unwilling to endure the discomfort of delayed gratification, failing to realize that growth and mastery require time. Patience is not passive. It is an active choice to trust the process, to invest consistent effort, and to maintain focus, even when progress is not immediately visible. It is the understanding that results, like seeds, require nurturing, care, and the passage of time before they bear fruit. Resilience, on the other hand, is the ability to rise again after setbacks, to keep moving forward when challenges threaten to derail your momentum. It is what allows individuals to maintain their course, to learn from failures, and to use adversity as a catalyst for growth rather than a reason to quit. Those who cultivate patience and resilience understand that the journey itself is where transformation occurs. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, and every moment of perseverance adds strength, character, and clarity to their path. They develop an inner stability that is not shaken by temporary failures or external criticism, because their focus is rooted in long-term goals rather than short-term. Recognition. This mindset also encourages adaptability, as patient and resilient individuals recognize that detours and obstacles are not dead ends, but opportunities to reassess, adjust strategies, and emerge stronger. They learn to navigate uncertainty with confidence, knowing that persistence and dedication will ultimately yield results. Patience and resilience also create a sense of discipline and self-mastery. When you commit to enduring the necessary work without immediate reward, you strengthen your ability to delay gratification, to prioritize long-term impact over fleeting satisfaction, and to maintain consistency even in the face of frustration. Over time, this consistent, quiet effort compounds into outcomes that are undeniable, powerful, and lasting. Those who embrace this principle often find that the rewards they achieve are far greater than what they could have imagined at the outset, precisely because they were willing to persist, endure, and remain steadfast when others abandoned their goals. The combination of patience and resilience transforms challenges into stepping stones, setbacks into lessons, and time into an ally rather than an enemy. It allows individuals to maintain their vision with unwavering clarity, to act with steady determination, and to continue investing effort in silence, confident that the results will eventually speak for themselves in ways that cannot be rushed or fabricated. Impact speaks louder than ego, because true influence and achievement are measured by results, not by self-promotion or declarations of intent. Too often, people become enamored with recognition, social status, or the appearance of success, believing that being seen as capable or talented is equivalent to actual accomplishment. In reality, the most powerful individuals and organizations are those whose work leaves a tangible mark, whose contributions create meaningful change, and whose results are undeniable. Focusing on impact rather than ego requires a shift in mindset, from seeking attention to prioritizing effectiveness, from broadcasting effort to delivering outcomes that matter. It demands humility, self-awareness, and the discipline to channel energy into producing value rather than crafting a persona. When you embrace this principle, every action you take becomes intentional, every effort directed toward creating measurable results, and every decision evaluated by the standard of its potential contribution. This approach also fosters long-term credibility and trust, because people naturally gravitate toward those who consistently demonstrate results over those who merely claim them. Ego-driven behavior, by contrast, often prioritizes image over substance, leading to wasted energy, misaligned priorities, and superficial achievements that cannot withstand scrutiny. By letting impact guide your actions, you become accountable not only to yourself, but to the outcomes you seek to create, and this accountability drives focus, persistence, and resilience. Moreover, focusing on impact cultivates authenticity. When your motivation is rooted in producing meaningful results rather than seeking approval, you act with clarity, confidence, and integrity. Your work speaks for itself, drawing attention not through self-promotion, but through the undeniable evidence of achievement. This mindset encourages innovation and creativity because the goal becomes solving real problems and making a difference rather than conforming to expectations or chasing recognition. Over time, prioritizing impact over ego builds a legacy that cannot be contested. Achievements accumulate, influence grows, and respect is earned naturally through demonstrated competence and meaningful contribution. This principle also reinforces the value of patience and sustained effort, because creating real impact often requires time, persistence, and the willingness to work quietly behind the scenes. Those who understand that results speak louder than words are able to focus on what truly matters, avoid distractions that inflate the ego without producing value, and consistently deliver work that resonates, inspires, and leaves a mark on the world. By centering your actions on impact, you align your energy with outcomes, create momentum that compounds over time, and establish a standard of excellence that commands recognition without the need for overt self-promotion, ensuring that your work endures and influences others in ways that words alone never could.